Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next unit description here as I'm working through every unit in the Imperial Guard roster here. The next unit we'll focus on is the Commissar, but before we get started on discussing this unit, if you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. So the Commissar, as his base loadout, he costs 150 points. Has 200 health, 2 action points because he is an HQ unit, 4 movement, 4 armor, and 10 evasion. He has a bolt pistol that has 8 attacks, does a base damage of 3 to 4 damage with 1 armor piercing and a optimal range of 1, I should say. And at that optimal range, he has a base accuracy of 90, and every square that's off of that optimal range, it falls down by 15 points. Because the armor piercing is 1, it effectively makes this a damn near worthless weapon, so you really should not be using that very regularly. He's really meant to be more of a melee fighter, as you would expect. So at the base cost, you'll have a chainsword, which has 3 attacks. Base damage 22 to 30 with splash damage to 1 unit, doing 15 to 21. It has an armor piercing of 5 and a 100% melee accuracy. Now for 5 additional points, you can end up upgrading it to a power sword, which is what I typically like to do. And what that does is it increases the base damage to 82 to 110, and it still has 1 splash damage, but now the damage is increased to 49 to 66, has an armor piercing of 8, and it has 100 melee. So this really makes him good against anti-heavies and medium, and this allows you to do a little bit more if you're worried about not being able to land hits with a little bit of splash damage. So kind of a lighter unit, but lighter target damage. But for 5 requisition points, it just seems like a no-brainer to give him the power sword if you have the points. Now, as all commander units in the Astra Militarum, he has access to the battle line doctrines. As you're aware from if you've watched prior videos of mine kind of describing how the battle line doctrine works, this will go out from the Commissar horizontally, vertical, or diagonally, and anyone that's within 1 square of him will end up getting his buffs, and then you can connect the battle line with units even if it's not in those kind of nice straight lines. As long as they're touching, then the battle line will continue on. And when you have anybody that's getting a battle line doctrine, that by itself will get them, I think, +2 momentum for kills, but then you start to get the application of the different battle line doctrines, and his is Emperor's Will. So what that does is you get in addition to the cohesion bonus that you get from having the battle line, you also get +25% momentum gains, and any unit within the within the battle line will get 5+ bonus health. Now, different battle line doctrines do not stack, so you have to be careful that you're selecting units which ones you think are most important to have certain battle line doctrines. So if somebody's going to be getting some high value kills, you probably want them to have the Emperor's Will on there to try to get your guys to surge a little bit easier, or if you're going to be soaking up a little bit of damage, then you know that 5% bonus health may help a little bit here. It's certainly not a lot of bonus health, but I guess every little bit helps, especially with your vehicles here that you know have 500 health at their base setup here. So having 5% extra there can definitely be some amount of health there that can actually help you tolerate some attacks. Now, just like all infantry heroes for the Imperial Guard here, he does have the embedded officer's trait. And what that means is for every infantry that's within 1 square of him, he'll get 10 evasion, up to 4 times stacking. So that brings him up to 50 evasion. So the big thing with him is if you're going to use him in melee and you're worried about getting some counterattacks, because you can see this guy cannot take many hits with only having 200 health, you want to bring as many infantry around him as you can. So hopefully with that 50% evasion, assuming you have 4 guys stacked around him, that should help him dodge those counterattacks and also make it a little bit harder for your opponents to strike this guy down. Now, he does have the ability to execute, and what that does is it enforces discipline in a unit through the summary execution of the weakest member. So pretty much you execute 1 model and a target, and then you can give them 30 momentum for up to 2 turns. So I haven't played around a whole bunch with this. Obviously, it's really meant to be used on the Cadian shock troops here. And I think the thought process there is the I think it's the crit chance and the graze chance goes down with the increased momentum. So by giving them 30 momentum, that should decrease their grazes and also increase their crit chance. And when you end up using the Commissar's other ability, which is Show 'em Steel, which increases the melee damage and critical hit chance by 25%, I think between those two things is they're really trying to maximize the damage output that your Cadian shock troops can do. You obviously wouldn't want to execute like an Ogryn or probably a Kasserkin because those guys are worth too much. Similar with the heavy weapons squad, you know, it only has 3 models, so taking one of those out would be a disaster. So I therefore think it's probably only meant to be used on these Cadian shock troops because you know they have what, 9 units here? Yeah, 3, 9, wait, 3, 6... No, 10 units here. Okay, so he's got 10 units per squad. So it definitely makes for an interesting use. The other thing the Commissar can do is, because he has these melee damage buffs, he can really buff up your Castellan here, because she can do 93 to 125 damage, and if you watch my Castellan video, you can see how much damage she can really dish out when she has this power fist and when she's been buffed with those crit chances. And then you can buff it even further with her or any other melee unit when you start using things like Bring It Down, where you're reducing the armor even more, which is going to allow you to do more damage. And then if you have your infantry Cadian squads being buffed by her, then she's starting to increase their damage by 1. And so when you're talking about a bayonet charge that's doing 7 to 10 damage, that's, you know, an additional 10% bonus damage that they're getting just straight up because of her voice of command. But again, you need to make sure that you're getting the right people having it. Now, she's will outrank a Commissar, so if they're both providing if they're both connected to the same battle line, you'll only get her ability. Same with the tank commander, he outranks a Commissar, so you'll get the shock and awe doctrine and not the Commissar's doctrine. So you just got to make sure you're separating guys and not connecting your battle lines if you're wanting different bonuses to be applied. Now, this Show 'em Steel also significantly buffs the melee damage to your Ogryn squads as well, so just keep that in mind too. So I'm going to bring some of these guys out because they are quite good in melee. You know, it does base damage 45 to 60, armor piercing is 6, accuracy of 90, and so then you can increase that by an additional 25% and end up giving them 25% hit crit chances as well. And if you're going to be charging, then if you're using the Show 'em the Steel ability here, that will also make it so they can't be suppressed on the charge as well. So definitely has some good utility. What I tend to like to do on the multiplayer matches is I tend to keep one of my Commissars in the way back. That way, for 150 points, I can just have them hiding in the back of the map and starting to accrue the command points as everybody else is dying. And that way I can end up using a death missile. What is it called? Death streak missile. I can't remember, something like that, which is the tier 3 ability because it's really powerful and you can deploy it across the map. And therefore, this guy can be quite good because he's, as you said, it's really easy to snipe this guy down. So you just have to make sure you keep him in a location where he's safe if you're not going to use him as a frontline soldier. So with that, and then the only other thing I would say that I've really liked when I'm using these Commissars is I sometimes also use them as warriors, because you know, for 155 points, these guys can do some really good damage. So the other thing that I tend to do with these guys is I tend to put 2 of them in a Chimera, and if I see that he's got a real high value target that I want to be able to assassinate, sometimes I'll put the Chimera in the dozer form so I can use it to just use the run them over ability, which is like a vehicle charge that charges through infantry. And then if you can get them behind the enemy opponents, then you can unload the 2 Commissars with their power swords and get some rear attacks on units, and that's allowed me to snipe down some enemy HQ units and do a lot of damage. The other options, it also allows you to have something to be able to fight off like the canonists and other units that can be more powerful that these guys will have trouble killing. especially if they're locked into melee. So that will allow him to kind of chop through those things for you. So there's definitely multiple uses of the Commissar here. So you just got to decide kind of what your main tactic's going to be. But I figure for this matchup, we'll just show getting some bonus momentum gains. We'll start buffing our infantry, which are going to have the bandits here. I think maybe what I'll also do, I was kind of going back and forth like, do I have these guys here? But we'll end up, I think, just bringing maybe a Castellan with us as well, because she can do significant amounts of damage, and then we can really show that the Commissar can buff a lot of those guys as well. So we'll do kind of a loadout like this to show off our force selection here. So we'll get started on a skirmish matchup as we usually do and get this going. Set it up with the Astra Militarum. And let's see here. I think we did Necrons last time, so it looks like we're doing Adeptus Sororitas this time. And we're going to do the Imperial Ruins because that just leads to real fast engagements in the center here. So let's get started. Alright, and we got our force selection here. That should be pretty reasonable. We can keep the Castellan, I guess, as our commander here.
As long as I draw breath, Cadia stands.
Bring everybody forward here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get anybody else over there.
Armored Sentinel, ready.
Yeah, I guess we're going to bring you around the side. Not super happy to do that. Just going to make it a little awkward to get them into combat.
First line, wait.
Enemies fortifying nearby.
None escapes my scrutiny.
They will not hide for long.
Now, the one bummer about trying to buff all these infantry units is it can actually be a little bit challenging, because they can have a lot of flamers, especially when you're playing against the sisters here.
I will lead from the battle line.
Whose day are we ruling today, sir?
Because those flamers can just shoot these guys down without much trouble. And it can be hard to get your guys into melee combat. But we'll see what happens here. I don't know why that tank totally turned around.
Agreed.
Yeah? Let them come.
We got some arcoflagellants showing up here. Artillery shooting into me. Oh, they're doing a massive arcoflagellant build. Interesting. Sounds like the Sisters of Battle just ended up putting in some blessed ammo. I'm not quite sure what the deal is with that.
Firing on target.
Alright, they're down. Sisters of Battle, Arcos, Sancrosaints, Repentia. So I'll just bring these guys over here. Have you shoot into here with your splash. That should be... Oh, I would have thought that would be enough to get the kill, but I guess not. Is now.
Sentinel, ready.
So pull you back. What do we got? Heavy bolter retributors there. That's going to be a problem.
Whose day are we ruling today, sir?
Maybe what I'll do is I'll move this tank over here. And yep, they fixed it here. I wanted to bring out the plasma cannon with the Lehman Russes as well, because the plasma cannon, when it was first released, was bugged out where it was taking an AP to be able to use the ability. But that is no longer the case here, so that's excellent. And I'm just going to start sniping these guys down. I was hoping that if I got the kill, that wasn't going to still give them the extra evasion, but I wasn't sure how that would work. But I didn't want to start with my Punisher cannon there because I didn't want to end up buffing them continuously.
What you want? Yeah?
Awaiting your
With
orders.
some bonus evasion, making it harder for me to land some attacks.
For the Emperor!
Whose day are we ruling today, sir?
So I'll bring you over to here. And then I think with these Arcos and everything over here, what I'm going to do is just bring the Sentinel this way. And I'll just set up some overwatches.
Or be killed.
And hopefully he'll be in position then
Victory
to get some
through
attacks.
discipline.
We'll bring over some infantry here as well.
Run it!
Bring you over to here to kind of shoot into these guys, assuming he's going to get some attacks into you.
Whose day are we ruling today, sir?
And we'll bring you... I guess I'd have to... Oop, I don't want to do that. I'd have to bring you over there to get you into cohesion. So we'll do something like this. And that should be giving these guys that tactic. And if I bring you over here, this should connect the battle line to these guys now too.
Whose day are we ruling today, sir?
And then we'll
Rolling
just
out.
bring up the tanks over here
Watching this area.
to try to help with getting some shots into these guys here. And then it looks like you guys are getting some shots over here, and I guess you can just do a little bit of that. And then we've got the Commissars over here. I kind of wish they had the option to do plasma pistols as well, but they don't have the ability. Soaking up all my overwatches. They've got hand flamers, so it looks like they're going to try to flame down my Ogrins here. It looks like they're going to probably blow up my Sentinel here.
The Emperor for these plates.
Enemies fortifying nearby.
Alright, so we got that. So, the question is, how do I want to buff these guys now? The Seraphim will have... zone of control, so I don't want to necessarily move past them or I'm going to end up getting flamed. Those are Arcos over there. I thought they had some Repentia too. Is that not true? I guess not. So maybe what I will do then is just bring you over here, start flaming these guys down. Almost drop those guys. Bring you over here.
Search and destroy.
Victory
And
through
if I brought
discipline.
you up to here, you could take out the Battle Sisters and the Arco-Flagellants here, so that would kill 2 different squads. That seems probably pretty reasonable.
Flee or be cut down with staff.
Definitely an overkill,
Advance.
but we'll get the squads taken out there. So that's not terrible.
Whose day are we ruling today, sir?
And then here, what I will do is maybe move you to here. Buff everybody there. And then we have to kill these guys. So I guess I can do that by... Well, how do I want to do it? I guess is a question. Maybe what I'll do is I'll move you up one.
Battle line.
And then you've got 63, huh? That's not very good. What if I move you over one? 72. Let's do that. 68. 60. So I'll move you over here. You can start shooting into these guys. And then you can come over here and just start punching them down. 67% chance to hit. There you go. So he's down now. You can come use your bolter there. Take that guy out. These ones have hand flamers. I guess we'll just bring you over here to shoot into them. Otherwise you're just going to be sniping down my infantry. Pull you back one, try to protect you from getting just totally destroyed.
As long as I draw breath,
And we'll keep you at an angle here to try to keep those guys in cohesion. And then we're back to this situation again. So I think what I'm going to want to do is start working on these Paragon war suits. Move you up to here. The tank really should not be able to hurt you. You can move past here, can't you? Yes. So I could charge over to here, but I find that they tend to miss their charge a lot. A lot more than you would think they would. So I think what I'm going to do instead is just bring these guys back here. Let you get those kills here. And then you can come over here. Take those ladies down. We'll bring you up this way. And I can't get you into range to get into melee, so I guess we'll just bring you over to here. Because I don't think you're gonna necessarily do enough damage to these people over here. I wouldn't mind taking out Repentia. Let's move you up a little bit. We'll have you just shoot into the Paragon warsuit like this. Move you up to here. And I wasn't sure how much damage that was going to do.
Yeah. Run it.
Well, I guess you guys are going to melee here. And the question is how much damage are you going to be able to do? So it looks like you're going to do 70 to 100. I don't think that's going to be enough to get kills. Yeah, so you did 60.
What you want?
Well, I guess we'll just shoot into the Repentia. Yeah, good. So you're able to kill them.
What next, sir?
So that will significantly reduce their damage. Turn you here.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get grenaded.
Through discipline. What you want?
Which is fine. Oh, my poor Commissar. Interesting that they're all trying to grenade these guys.
likes of you.
Alright, well, let's get you over here and flame into these guys. And then I guess the Commissar can just start coming after the Battle Sisters, but I think he's probably going to get himself killed here. Because unfortunately, he is not going to be able to do enough damage.
Whose day are we ruining today, sir?
Victory through
And then the big thing with these guys with their melee attack, it does recharge, or their melee buff, the Show 'em Steel, it charges up every turn. So that's definitely very nice. Now, one bad thing about these guys and their charge ability is it seems like it misses their attack a lot. A lot more than you would think.
As long as I draw breath, Cadia stands.
Whose day are we ruining today, sir?
Now, this guy has what? Optimal range of 4, so we'll just shoot here. And that almost got the kill.
I will lead.
Perhaps I should have,
You are unworthy of Islam.
come on, Bolt Pistol, you can do it. Ah, you let me down. I just had to try. 5% chance to hit, huh? Well, let's let you just shoot into here, or smack into there. I guess I should have buffed with my,
What you want?
Commissar here.
Glory
So we'll learn our lesson.
die. Run it.
And you can shoot into here and try to drop down those Repentia. And I guess you're shooting into the Penitent Engine here, giving them all sorts of momentum gains. And you can come over here and start working on these Repentia. Unfortunately, he still has 3 units left, so that's not great.
Whose day are we ruining today, sir?
Well, I guess I'm going to have to use you to go after the Paragon. I mean, he's going to do enough damage that he will mess me up if I leave him.
Rolling out.
I'll bring you over here. Have you keep working on this Penitent Engine. Take him out. Unfortunately, that's going to leave these guys all over towards you to be able to get some damage and kills.
Yeah? What you want? Victory through discipline.
I guess we'll just pull you over to the side here to try to give that the battle line doctrine to these
As
guys.
long as I draw breath, Cadia stands.
The big thing about the Commissar with his doctrine, though, is because it gives you the 25 momentum gains. The faster you get your momentum, the faster you can accrue additional command points here with your commander. So just keep that into consideration, that is one of the main powers of your Commissar, is to really help you get those momentum gains going. Yeah, not terribly shocked by that. A little shocked that they're shooting into the tank here. It's like you have all these guys over here, and that's where you're deciding to spend your forces. Ah, she got her fallback.
I can slay you. Victory through discipline.
Alright, well, go ahead and get your charge then. How far can I get you? I can get you to here.
Victory through discipline. Glory to the first soldier to die.
Well, let's start working on taking these guys out.
Down where you stand.
Just a little short, unfortunately. Take those Repentia out.
Yeah?
I don't think I can actually charge into any of these guys, can I? Doesn't look like it, really.
Whose day are we rooting today, sir?
Suffering is
Do
our
something like
prayer.
that. Bring you over to here to start focusing down the Exorcist. I hate to waste this attack, but I'm going to.
Run it.
Bring you over here.
What you want?
And I think we'll just bring you guys over to here. And start smacking down this Exorcist with your melee.
Stand fast.
You're here. And then we'll just bring you over to here. And start getting some rear attacks with your fist.
Taking hits.
Can I pull you back? No, I can't.
Life is my strongest armor.
Whose day are we rooting today, sir? Rolling out.
Shoot into here. $68, $72.
Whose day are we rooting today, sir?
As long as I draw breath, Cadia stands.
Victory through discipline.
Whose day are we rooting today, sir? Rolling out.
And we'll just start shooting into these guys, I guess. Maybe I can get a squad wipe here. Although the Commissar is locking them down, so that may not actually have been the best option to shoot there.
Victory through discipline.
Bring you up to here. That should bring those guys into cohesion.
Yeah?
Whose day are we rooting today, sir?
And I don't think there's any way I can bring you over to bring these guys into battle line doctrine. I mean, he's gonna die, so we might as well just try to bring you over here. Maybe you'll get to keep your
Victory
doctrine
through
then.
discipline.
Actually, if I bring you to here, now these guys should all be getting the bonus health
Whose day are we rooting today, sir?
and momentum gains. Oh yeah, I forgot about you.
Sentinel on the move.
Let's get you over here then. Flame these guys down. There you go.
I've got it from here.
Now if I bring you over here, now you'll get the cohesion bonus too.
You want?
Whose day are we rooting today, sir?
Alright. And with that, you can now get an idea of how you can end up buffing your guys. So, you know, let me hear. What I can do is bring you to here, bring you to here, get you over here. And so you can see they do 78% chance to hit, 45 to 61 times 3, 73, 93 times 125.
Through
We
discipline.
can use that. and now all of a sudden she's doing 73 to 117 to 156, and now 57 to 76. So as you can see, you can really stack up those damages pretty significantly here to get things working well for you.
Victory through discipline.
Now, what just dawned on me is I actually don't have these guys within surging
Victory
capabilities
through discipline.
to show off their empowered abilities. So I am going to have to do something to get my Commissar some momentum here to be able to upload a video to show their empowered abilities. So I will do that here. Okay, and so for our Commissar here, I have him able to be empowered. So if we take a look at his empowered ability, if you do the empowered execute, what that effectively does is drop the cooldown to the ability down to 1 turn, and instead of giving you the 25 momentum, it gives the units 50 momentum for 2 turns. And the Show 'em Steel empowered ability increases the buff to 35% for both the melee damage and the critical hit chance in melee. Still only lasts 1 turn, and then the suppression situation does not change at all. So pretty much buffs those by 10% on those 2 areas. So definitely has some good buffs and things like that, but depending on the situation, I could easily see myself preferring to just wanting to end up giving these guys additional attacks, unless I'm like fighting low tier infantry where I think I want to have more splash damage to be able to get some kills going here. Or if I had a bunch of, you know, Ogrins or other heroes nearby that could really dish out a lot of damage, I suppose I could potentially use the empowered Show 'em Steel, but for the most part I think I'd just rather have a regular attack with a power source. So as you can see, the Commissars definitely have a lot of utility. They can help buff up the damage of a lot of your melee forces, including your Cadian shock troops if you're going to be in an enclosed area where you're going to want to use them in melee. And you can stack that even further with your Castellan, and you can certainly turn her into a powerhouse with that plus 25% melee damage and the critical hit chances that you're getting. It also significantly increases the damage output to your Ogrins as well. So definitely has a lot of utility. And then the Commissars themselves are no slouches in combat with their significant armor piercing. It allows them to get through, you know, like Tau Stealth suits, any sort of mechanized forces, Terminators, Sanguinary Guard, Tyrannid, you know, high value targets. The big thing is they just can't take the counter a hit, so you need to get yourself into a situation where you're not going to be getting all those counter hits, or else you're going to get yourself killed, and you'll want to support them with some infantry to try to get that evasion up further. So remember to always have some infantry surrounding them if they are going to do attacks where they're going to get countered, so you can try to get that evasion buff up to plus 40, which will bring you to a 50% evasion chance, which is huge because that should drop the chance of you actually getting hit in counterattack less than 50%, and that should really help your damage output there. So keep it into consideration. And then, like I said, for 150 points, you can keep them way in the back as well as another alternative to help you get those command point abilities up and just spam your abilities. Now, unfortunately, if you have the Commissar be your HQ unit, that means if you're going to try to use the tier 1 Valkyrie summoning, that you have to move that Commissar throughout the map to get the redeployment, which can be challenging because then it's going to leave the Commissar in a situation where he's going to be easy to get sniped down, and it's much easier to use like the tank commander to be able to force your way through a lot of enemy territory than it is with the Commissar. But you just have to keep into consideration what you want to do. And then remember, the Commissar themselves can be quite good, and if you throw them in a Chimera, you can move them rapidly across the map and really just allow you to deploy 2 high damage dealing units that if you have 2 of them and you can get rear attacks on an enemy commander, you really should be able to kill almost any commander between those 4 power sword attacks. Well, maybe other than the Bloodthirster, but that's few and far between, but most of the other ones should be able to get taken out. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.